journey to Sovereignstvo. The year is 2035. Earth is experiencing its 7th year of extreme drought. Ingener and his team are on the USS Kubernetes spaceship after searching for and finding water rocks to take back to Earth to end the 7-year drought. As they head back to Earth, they unexpectedly have veered off course and are running low on fuel. However, Ingener has just enough fuel to make it to the closest planet, Sovereignstvo. Upon landing and initial exploration, Ingener and his team of explorers encounter Iatas, native to Sovereignstvo, who hears their dilemma and informs them that Clienty has the fuel they need to get back home. Iatas warns them that the journey to Gorodvodi, City of Water, is plagued with many dangers that they'll have to navigate. Once they arrive, Clienty will need to make a trade in exchange for fuel. Iatas suggests finding tenants, valuable storage blobs, to provide to Clienty. Sovereignstvo once had an abundance of tenants, but Metahorde and his band of thieves exploited and over-allocated Sovereignstvo's supply to neighboring planets. Now they have seen a steady decline in the levels from their data lakes, a valuable resource that they need to sustain their world. Iatas agrees to help the crew find these valuable tenants, but warns them that the path is filled with obstacles Metahorde has set to prevent anyone from finding them. Ingener and the team must discover 7 tenants while eluding Metahorde's army to exchange them for the fuel that they need to make it back in time to save the Earth from extinction from an unprecedented drought season. Unbeknownst to Ingener, a crew member has been compromised and is now working with Metahorde to sabotage the mission. Metahorde has promised to tell the compromised crew member about Planet Arcadia, a celestial planet that revivals the once beautiful places on Earth. In exchange for their cooperation, Metahorde has promised to reveal the location and provide the necessary resources for safe travel there. Ingener and the crew will need to navigate different scenarios to identify who the spy is and out them before they find the last tenant.
Two years ago, the USDA and NASA teamed up to place a greenhouse on the moon. The advancements from this project are already showing promise to make American farming more productive, improve crop yields, monitor carbon emissions, and act as a catalyst for the new USDA-NASA Aviation Biofuels Research Project. Last month, the greenhouse began to exhibit glitches, and last night, the greenhouse shut down. The operations team was able to reboot the greenhouse and restart the systems for the time being, but the cause is still unknown. In order to solve the problem, a joint task force has been assembled between the USDA and NASA. Your name is Taylor Jones. You are the project manager for the USDA team. Your supervisor, Sarah, has assigned 4 USDA employees with experience on the greenhouse project to help you. John, a senior power engineer, Sophia, a computer software expert, Kumar, an expert in conservation, soil and natural resources, and Beatrice, an expert in agricultural robotics. You will be joined by NASA project manager Nathan Smith and his team, Ellie, a structural engineer, Ryan, an expert in space power systems, Jessica, a systems software engineer, and Mike, a robotic manipulator expert. Together, you have 12 short weeks to diagnose the problem, come up with a solution, and get any hardware to Kennedy Space Center for the next supply mission to the moon. Will you be able to navigate the ethics issues and save the Lunar Greenhouse in time?
Did things go wrong with these future service members? Several friends signed up for military service and made bad choices with their money. choices that could have been prevented. Misadventures in Money Management is an interactive program for future service members presented by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. It uses both live-action video and graphic novel animations to help them sidestep some of the most common and avoidable financial pitfalls among new service members. The program tackles all kinds of financial challenges and choices, from buying a car to building credit to starting to build wealth. Future service members will step into the shoes of characters designed to reflect their own personalities and backgrounds. They will make financial choices for the characters and see the positive and negative consequences of their decisions. Each character trains on important tenets of successful money management, and an extensive resource library elaborates on the nuts and bolts should they choose to investigate further. New service members can interact with these characters' stories and make virtual decisions that will influence their own financial futures. The program ends with a personalized completion certificate. Misadventures in Money Management can help them begin with a solid financial foundation. This program has been brought to you by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau's Office of Service Member Affairs.
Team, as soldiers in the U.S. Army, you've probably seen one of your battle buddies drive an expensive car 1 week, and 8 months later, that car has been repossessed. Don't be that soldier that loses your security clearance because of bad money decisions. Financial decisions made today can and will affect your future. If you want to purchase something, then you should plan for it. Fortunately, we have a tool that can help. Misadventures in Money Management is a choose-your-own-adventure graphic novel that you can easily access on your smartphone. I've tried this training myself, and I've enjoyed fighting aliens as I save the world, and I learned a thing or two along the way as well. Simply go into the website below to start your adventure today. Also, check out the leaderboard and help make sure that the Army beats the Marines. Army strong, soldier for life.
Let's face it, sometimes financial topics can get a little boring, which is why we try to make them easy to understand and fun with our consumer series, Money It's Personal. Now, active duty service members can also enjoy learning about financial topics in a fun new way. Web producer Ivan Herrera tells us about the Misadventures in Money Management program and how this type of training is giving service members an interactive way to learn about money with the help of zombies and even time travel.
Choose your own adventure. That's the name of the game with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau's new Misadventures in Money Management program. The cutting-edge graphic novel-style virtual learning experience lets current and even future service members learn how to navigate financial hurdles in a fun way. The CFPB program covers topics such as the importance of building savings, how to avoid impulse buying, how debt can affect a military career, and many other topics. The training tool was created to help military leaders, recruiters, and professional finance managers educate, advise, and train service members on critical financial decisions. The CFPB says it created the program after speaking with lots of service members who said they were tired of boring slideshows and wanted a program that was fun and helped service members remember the material. So it's no wonder why the interactive tool lets you fight zombies, travel through time, and you even get to become a secret agent, all while learning key financial concepts. Current and future service members are encouraged to check out the Misadventures in Money Management tool, and they can even see how other participants are doing on the leaderboard, which compares how each branch of service is doing compared to others. For the 9, Ivan Herrera.
If you'd like to access the Misadventures in Money Management tool, head to our website, ksat.com/news@9. And if you have any money questions that you would like us to answer, you can submit those questions right there at the bottom of that article.
Since long before recorded history, when humans first began to tell stories, we've asked ourselves a disarmingly simple, yet seemingly unanswerable question. What does it mean to be human? Meet Layla Kalami, an avid student of humanity who just happens to be from the distant planet Io and has traveled across the galaxy to find the answer to that very question. Join Layla and me, Professor Jim Egan, in Fantastic Places, Unhuman Humans, where we will attempt to answer the unanswerable by visiting exotic locales, and encountering hybrid beings reachable only through the magic of fiction. With your weathered backpack in tow and me as your expert guide, we'll travel through 3 worlds and 6 realms, visiting universes called forth by such authors as Margaret Atwood, Edgar Allan Poe, and H.P. Lovecraft. You, Layla, and your fellow travelers from across the galaxy will enter the imaginative spaces of these works through a series of quests in which you use and develop your creative powers, critical thinking skills, and analytical abilities to convey to Layla the complexities, contradictions, and uncertainties that are at the heart of being human. We may never answer the question of what it means to be human, if there even is a distinctive thing that can be called human. But after fulfilling your final quest, you'll have a better understanding of the conceptual and ethical problems that arise out of any effort to represent our humanity. Layla came all this way. We should at least show her around, right? Register now for Fantastic Places Unhuman Humans. Adventure awaits.
Hi, my name's John Caulfield. I'm the designer of Cloudburst. Cloudburst is an award-winning tabletop game that educates people about stormwater runoff pollution. Our goal with Cloudburst was to take an invisible problem and turn it into a tangible experience. Now, let me explain. Cloudburst starts on a beautiful day when you decide to wash your car. You rinse off the car, the water runs down your driveway, into the street, and into the storm sewer. Well, that's great. That's what it's supposed to do. But where does it go from there? Who cares, right? It's out of sight, out of mind. Well, actually, you care. Because when things go into the storm drains, their next stop is your local waterway. There is no treatment of storm water. That's why stormwater pollution is such an issue, and that's why preventing stormwater pollution is an educational problem that utilities all over the country face. Cloudburst was designed to address that problem. Cloudburst is a simple tabletop board game. It's cooperative, It's easy to learn, it's fast to play, it's engaging, and most importantly, it's not yet another copy of Monopoly or a trivia game or a roll and move game. Here's a close-up of a portion of the Cloudburst board. We're going to walk through how the game works. You see the houses, industry, agriculture, the things you'd normally see around town. Those two yellow spots are rivers. Now, the rivers are endangered. We've got to be careful because if pollution gets into the river, we can't really clean it up. Now, that red dot, that's pollution. To play the game, you draw a card and then read the card, do what it says. So in this case, we've had rain in our little town. Rain is going to make pollution go, in this case, to the left. And there's our pollution. It's spreading. Oh no! Well, now we need to protect the city. That's a subtle part of this game. We wanted to teach people that prevention is better than trying to clean up after the fact. So in this case, you can protect 3 clean areas or clean 1 polluted area. Well, we're going to protect 3 areas. Looking good so far. We've managed to block the pollution from one of the rivers, but it's still got an opening to get to our other river. Could be bad. Now we're going to fast forward a couple turns. We've drawn more cards. We've added more tokens to the board. And lo and behold, yes, it did get all the way up to the river. Whenever a yellow spot is polluted, then it immediately becomes blighted. If a normal spot in the game is already polluted, and it is surrounded by polluted spots, then it becomes blighted. Blights are how we control the end of the game. If you get too many blights, the game is over. In this case, though, yes, it did blight that spot, but we were able to protect around it. We've sealed off all the pollution. No pollution can get out. Our town is safe. Now, we used Cloudburst. We used a giant version at outreach events. We took it to youth summer camps. We even used it at employee and training events to give our experts language that they could use to talk to people who weren't water experts about what's going on and what they needed to do in order to help. So that's Cloudburst. Cloudburst turns an invisible problem into a tangible, fun, and engaging experience. And you can download your own free print and play copy too. Just go to bit.ly/stormwatergame. Thanks.
Our university students were struggling with the Principles of Economics course. They were bored, confused, and unhappy. They didn't understand the relevance of economics to their lives. How can we help our students to learn this material? Welcome to Don't Crash the Economy, an online interactive collaborative game where students work together in teams to make economic policy decisions in competition with other teams. At the heart of this game are branching scenarios, where students learn of economic conditions, make policy decisions based on those conditions, and learn the consequences of their decisions. Will they earn their Master of Macroeconomics Policy badge, or will they crash the economy? To start the game, students learn that they have been hired as the Chief Economic Advisor of the country of Maralton. They listen to a briefing from their team of advisors on the current conditions of the country, how things are going, what is going well, and the areas the team thinks need to be addressed. They are then presented with 3 policy options to choose from. When they move to the decision screen, they have the option of seeing a summary of the conditions and then must choose which policy they would advise Maralton's president to implement. The points they earn or lose depend on the choice they make. Then they learn how their policy choices have played out over the course of 6 months. Not only what happened, but how and why their decision led to the outcome that it did. This offers students a chance to hear how different economic decisions affect the economy, and it brings the real-world relevance of economics to life for them. That briefing is followed by a verbal feedback screen. If the policy they chose was the strong option, they move on to the next scenario. If not, they go back to the decision screen to try again. Progressing in this way, they move through 3 scenarios that build on previous decisions. At the end, the number of points they have earned determine whether they have earned their Master of Macroeconomics badge, become an apprentice, or crashed the economy. Don't Crash the Economy has been a highly successful game. Not only have students improved in their performance in the Principles of Economics course, but we have extended the game into other courses, both at the graduate and undergraduate levels within the university. In addition to our quantitative success, we've had some excellent qualitative feedback as well. Students enjoy the interactive nature of the game, they find it engaging, they like being able to apply their knowledge in such real-world ways. They also like the opportunity to talk through the concepts with other students. Students have told us that they want more scenarios. These are busy students who have not much time to attend live events, but they want more scenarios. They also want to go back and make the decisions that they didn't make the first time around to learn what the consequences of those decisions might have been, even if that leads to crashing the economy. So students are wanting more, our colleagues are wanting to get in on the action, and that's a real win in our book.
Welcome to this session on setting goals with OKRs. I'm going to give you a brief introduction to what an OKR is, then I'm going to show you a card game you can use to practice setting OKRs for yourself or your teams. Let's get started. So why spend time learning about a goal-setting tool in the first place? Well, did you know that only 7% of employees understand their company's strategy and what's fully expected of them? But don't worry, this isn't going to be a day of dry figures. In fact, we're going to explore goal setting as if we were all evil geniuses trying to compete for world domination. Speaking of evil geniuses, do you know why they never succeed in taking over the world? It's because they're terrible at setting goals. Maybe a new tool will help all of us out. Objectives and Key Results, or OKRs, are a goal-setting framework used by companies like Google, Twitter, and Disney. OKRs come to us from lots of great thinkers and previous goal-setting models, perhaps most directly from Andy Grove, the so-called father of OKRs. The practice of OKRs is pretty straightforward. Start by creating an objective. This is an ambitious yet realistic statement of where you want to go or what you want to achieve in the future. It should be something easily understood and easily communicated. Underneath this objective, list around 3 to 5 key results. These are observable, measurable outcomes that, as you deliver them, act as milestones for your overall objective. Put these together and you get an OKR, as we see with the evil genius OKR on the right. That's OKRs in a nutshell. You create an ambitious stretch goal, then figure out what milestone outcomes you need to produce along the way to show your progress. And yet, people can still find this a difficult framework to put into action. So let's practice setting OKRs right now. Hope you're still thinking like an evil genius, because we're going to play a game where you compete with your equally diabolical peers for global domination. Can you rule the world by setting effective OKRs? Here's how the game works. Whoever forms 2 complete OKRs first wins. Remember, a complete OKR has an ambitious objective statement, you'll be creating these on your own, and at least 3 key results, you'll be building these from the cards you draw. This game is played with a Rule the World card deck, so take a minute to pass out these decks now. Got your decks? Here's how to use them. You'll start by drawing cards into your hand and trying to combine them into key result statements. A key result is made up of an action, a number, and a noun. Your hand will be full of evil genius cards like these. Once you have a key result, lay it face up on the table in front of you. Take turns continuing to draw and play cards until someone can think of an evil genius objective statement that unites 3 or more key results on the table. Whoever thinks of an objective shouts it out, then takes whatever key results on the table fit within that objective. Use the scoring sheets provided to compile your OKR, and remember, whoever gets to 2 complete OKRs first wins. Here's a quick step-by-step of how to start playing. You might want to pause this screen here as you play, but you can also refer to your instructions and scoring sheets for reminders on what to do. Get ready to set some evil OKRs to rule the world. After your games are complete, resume this video to debrief on the experience. So what was it like to practice setting goals using the OKR format? Some people notice that when they frame a goal as an OKR, it tends to be easier to track, easier to communicate, and focused around actual results. All good things, especially when it comes to setting goals as part of a team. Now that you've practiced goal setting as an evil genius, let's come back to the real world and discuss what sort of objectives and key results you want to set as an individual or as a team. Spend a few minutes doing this and resume this video when you're ready. There are lots of resources on how to fine-tune your OKRs, but here are a few high-level tips. OKRs are meant to be shared. That's why they're written as outcomes and achievements. Be sure to update your results regularly. In addition to you being more likely to complete your goals this way, it also helps your team stay in the know. And finally, don't feel like you have to structure everything as an OKR. Start by using OKRs for your personal and team stretch goals, and go from there. I hope this card game was an engaging way to learn about and practice OKRs. Check out the website shown here for more information, and have fun conquering the world with your new objectives and key results.
The name of the game is TZakura, which means tire manufacturing in Japanese. And we created it to help new employees especially, but even the people that are out on the floor, get a better understanding of the process of making tires from start to finish. What we found is that a lot of people out on the floor even don't know what that whole process looks like. So we've got the entire process here. We broke it down from 1 to 8. Mixing, extruding, calendaring, cutting, bead winding, building, curing, and finishing. And this is what we want you guys to focus on when you're going through the gameplay piece of it. Then we introduced some safety cards. There's a safety component, there's a quality component, there's an attendance component, and then there's some general tire business. Lastly, we introduced the mission and values of the organization and the company's leaders. The goal for playing is for you to build a tire by collecting these 8 steps in the process.
The tire you are making is based on market demand. It is essential to be flexible.
Oh, if you've got to build, then lay it out. TZakura.
Somebody build?
Yep.
Well done.
And I'm not even a tire builder.
Look at that. You are now.
So what happens if you get all the numbers?
Then you built a tire, and that goes in your warehouse. That's TZakura.
Did you get that on camera?